Hey guys, Dusty here. Today I'll be giving my first impressions review on the Asics Magic Speed 2. So the Magic Speed 2 is a less expensive plated neutral road running shoe from Asics, and I would probably put it into the category of plated daily trainer, or more specifically a tempo day shoe, but we'll get it more into that a little bit later. The Magic Speed 2 has a stack height of 31 millimeters in the rear, 24 in the forefoot, for a heel to toe drop of 7 millimeters. My men's size 8.5 weighs in at 8 ounces even, or 226 grams. The upper on the shoe is just okay in my opinion. According to Asics, they're using at least 50% of recycled materials in this upper, and it breathes well. It's comfy enough. I would just say it's not one of the more luxurious or softer uppers that I've ran in. I found the Magic Speeds to fit true to size, and I will say the width is more normal to narrow, so if you have a really wide foot, the Magic Speed might not work for you. For those of you wondering, the insoles are not removable, but honestly that's a pretty common theme amongst most plated running shoes. Now if we move along to the midsole, Asics is using their Flight Foam Blast Plus foam for a top layer, and then on the bottom I believe it's just a normal layer of flight foam. And this midsole feels very firm even with that FF Blast Plus foam, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Overall though, firm feeling ride, and I kind of have a feeling this midsole will last a lot longer than some of the other plated shoes out there. And of course, sandwiched inside this midsole is a full-length carbon TPU plate, and it makes this shoe incredibly stiff. Then if we look at the outsole, Asics has a decent amount of rubber coverage, except at the very back where the heel is. And as far as the actual rubber goes on this outsole, it's going to be more durable than the Metaspeed Sky and Metaspeed Edge shoes. And the one run I did do in this shoe was on wet pavement, and the shoe gripped fantastic. There's no slipping issues whatsoever. The fit and lockdown of the shoe is decent. It almost has like a race fit to it. And one thing I will mention is in the last mile or so of my run, I actually got a sharp rock stuck in the outsole. I'll throw a photo up on the screen. I wasn't able to kick this rock out while I was running. It was only when I finished that I actually took my shoe off and was able to pull the rock out. This has also been an issue for me in both the Metaspeed Sky and the Metaspeed Edge. Just because there's no rubber coverage in this middle section, if you do land on a sharp rock, chances are it will get embedded into that midsole. Okay, so my first run in this shoe consisted of a little bit of everything. Did an easy warm-up, cool down, some steady tempo. I even picked up the pace a little bit and went through some strides. And overall, I gotta say, the shoe just felt okay. This shoe at easy paces just doesn't feel the greatest. Like I already mentioned, it's a very firm feeling ride. For a shoe that's 31 millimeters of stack height, it's one of the firmer shoes I've ran in. I was really hoping this FF Blast Plus would give the shoe a little bit more bounce and energy return, and I feel like it's just lacking a little bit. So I think in terms of using this shoe as a daily trainer, which would include easy runs, I probably wouldn't recommend it for that. I will say though, for a tempo day shoe, this fits the bill perfectly. However, with that being said, I think there's some other shoes you could get away with using as a tempo day shoe that might be a little bit more versatile. I haven't ran in it, but the Endorphin Speed is obviously super popular. Even the Hoka Mach 5, that shoe feels great at tempo. It's a little bit cheaper and it can also double as an easy day shoe. And honestly, even the Nova Blast. So the ride felt firm. I know some other people have said they felt a little bit of instability in this shoe. I didn't feel that whatsoever. Easy running, tempo running, and even doing my strides, the shoe felt quite stable. I do think though, if you're someone who had some heavy pronation, you might experience some issues in this. Just when I slow down the footage of me running, you can see a little bit of pronation. I personally don't need a stability shoe, but if you're someone who does, this shoe might not be supportive enough for you. In Canada, this shoe retails for $210, and in the US, it's $150. So that's coming in way less expensive than some of the top tier plated shoes, like the Asics Metaspeed Sky and Edge Plus. But I will say this shoe is certainly not at the same level as some of those other top tier shoes. But if you're a runner on a budget, or you like a firm feeling shoe, then this could be right up your alley. And if I was an Asics fanboy and I had to have an Asics running shoe rotation, I'd probably use the Nova Blast for daily training, long runs. I'd probably rock the Magic Speed 2 for tempo days, And then for key workouts and race day, I would probably choose the Asics Magic Speed Edge. Just as a side note, I rarely ever mention colorways, but I love this colorway. As soon as I saw that this colorway was going to be available, I put my order in. I think it's one of the better looking shoes that I have, even though it's a shoe that I probably won't be reaching for very often. So over the next couple of months, I'll try to bust out the Magic Speed 2 for more tempo runs. Maybe I'll try it on some really long runs and just kind of see if my review will change at all. But going forward, in my mind, this is a tempo day only shoe, and at 210 Canadian, I think there's probably some better options out there that are not only cheaper but also more versatile. So I hope you found this review helpful. Let me know down below if you have a Magic Speed 2 and how you use it. And like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.